back to our gentle yin restorative chakra series. Today is the third chakra, the solar plexus chakra. It's represented by the color yellow, and it's located above your belly button up to your sternum, so your upper abdomen area. And it's all about feelings of confidence, identity, self-esteem, having power and strength, and dedication to follow through with things. And did I say confidence? I think so. And then since it's in the abdomen area, a lot of times we think about cleansing, having cleansing breath and twisting and cleansing through this area so that we can manifest our true selves. So we will have scripture reading and just a affirmation throughout this class. Feel free to practice with those. You don't have to if you don't want to. A bolster will definitely come in handy, and we will not be needing a block today. Have them on hand in case, but shouldn't need them too much. So go ahead and light your candles, get comfy, and we'll get started. So today we're going to get started in a seated posture with breath of fire. So for those of you who haven't done this before, you can watch me for the first round. But what you'll do is inhale to a nice straight spine, exhale all the way, and then inhale halfway. And from that halfway point, you're going to forcefully exhale pretty quickly, but then your rebounding inhale will just come automatically. So you're not actually breathing any air in, it's just coming automatically from the forceful exhale. And you do about 30 or so. We'll take a break and do one more round together, okay? So inhale all the way, exhale all the way. Inhale halfway, out through the nose. Big inhale, big exhale, and join for the second round. Inhale halfway. Full inhale, full exhale. Good. So it's such a good way to activate your diaphragm and get everything in this abdomen region up and going. So we'll meet in a cat-cow position now. Actually, we'll stay seated. Let's do seated cat-cow. So place your hands on your knees, and then inhale, pull your chest through your shoulders, drop your head back, arch through your spine. And exhale, touch into chest, round through your spine. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. So I want you to keep working through those as we discuss our little readings for the day. So our scripture is a classic that you've probably heard. It's Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So this is super empowering, knowing that we have God on our side and His power and spirit within us to follow through with anything that is done for His glory, His will, and ultimately our good. So we can be strong and powerful and victorious over sin and temptation and helpful to others and all these awesome good things through His strength. And then our little affirmation mantra for the day, by the way, keep inhaling through your cat-cow while you're seated. But our affirmation is, I have the ability to follow through with my intentions. So set your mind on something and you have the ability to follow through and do that. It might take discipline and time and hard work, but you have everything within you that you need to do that. So repeat those throughout our class today. Take one more cat-cow in the seated posture. And then we'll work into kind of massaging your intestines, because the solar plexus chakra bodily is related to some digestion, because it's in here, metabolism, your muscle strength. So let's take some hip circles. You can switch the cross of your legs if that's uncomfortable. And then we're going to move our not our whole body, so we're not doing these big torso leans, but just our belly button in a circle. Let's go clockwise for about 10 times. Pretend you're a little belly dancer. Stir in the pot. So your belly button is moving forward to the right, back behind you and to the left. You can bring your shoulders into it a little bit, but again, don't drape the whole torso. Good, and we'll switch directions. Do about 10 in a counterclockwise direction. This might feel good through your lower back as well. And your hips. A few more here. And last one. Good. So let's come onto hands and knees now. We'll move into thread the needle. So from your tabletop, you can tuck or untuck your toes, whatever's comfortable. Inhale, reach your left fingertips high to the sky. And exhale, thread your left hand underneath your right arm. Drop onto your right ear and your right shoulder. Or left ear and left shoulder, sorry. So really twisting here. Again, cleansing from whatever is not your identity and your authenticity and your own strength and gift. You have the option to wrap your top arm behind your back and find a little half bind. Unravel your bind if you took that. Put your right hand underneath your shoulder. Inhale, reach your left fingertips high again, and exhale, plant them underneath your left shoulder and move into the other side. So go ahead and reach your right fingertips high, and then thread the needle, slide your arm behind your left wrist and lower onto your ear. Again, find what variation suits you right now. I'm gonna take the little half bind by wrapping my left arm behind my back to my inner right thigh. Taking this time to wring out and just maybe releasing any hold you have on past failures. Knowing that that doesn't have to be your story. You have the chance to cleanse and then rebuild and retry. Good. Plant your left hand underneath your left shoulder. Inhale, sweep your right arm high. And then place it back underneath you. Tuck your toes, lift your hips to downward facing dog. So take a moment just to pedal out through your feet if that feels good. Won't be here too long. On your next breath, you'll lift your left foot and place it on the outside of your left hand. Drop your right knee down. So coming into a lizard or dragon lunge, sinking the hips down towards the mat. And then I want you to roll on the blade edge of your left foot. Place your left hand on the left knee and twist open. If you want more, feel free to pluck your back foot off the mat, engaging your hamstrings, and then reaching back for that foot. Kind of a twisted lizard lunge. If you're able, you can also lower your elbow down onto block or bolster. If you want a slightly more restorative version. Take about 2 more breaths. Just open even deeper. Make it from your belly button, not just your chest and shoulder. So usually we say twist from above the belly button, but go ahead and get into your core here. Gently release. Plant your hands, step back to downward facing dog. And then on your next breath, send your right foot forward on the outside of your right hand. Drop your back knee. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot and place your right hand on the right knee, opening up for a twist here. If you want more, feel free to grab onto your back foot with your right hand. Using that pressure as leverage to twist open more. And then also feel free to drop down onto your left elbow. Two more breaths. Pull the navel to spine and then wring out every last bit. Gently release. Move the bolster out of the way for now. Send your right leg back for downward facing dog. And then lower your knees down. Briefly find child's pose. Rise up and face the wide, long edge of your mat. We're going to move into Jani Shasana. So extend your left leg long, bring your sole of your right foot to the inner seam of your left thigh. And then we're going to take a side bend version. So instead of just folding forward, let's open up through our obliques, this core area, by reaching our right arm overhead and towards our left big toe. If you can grab onto it, use that to roll your shoulder open more. And if you can't and you're up here, that's totally fine. You can also use a bolster underneath your waist to support you. So find your variation here. Then I want you to think about some unique aspects of your personality and identity that would lead you to actually achieve things you set your mind to. So maybe it's your work ethic or your organizational skills, your interpersonal skills, your ability to keep things light while also working so you don't get burnt out. Just think about how you can harness all that strength within you to follow through with your intentions. Two more breaths. Twist open more from your core. And then slowly rise back up. Roll out your shoulders and neck and we'll switch sides. So stretch your right leg long and bring your left foot to the inner thigh. Again, use a blocker bolster under your waist if that's comfortable. Otherwise, reach your left arm high and overhead for a side bend. One side might be more tight than the other two. You can use your elbows traction to twist open more. Or if you want to be super gentle and not force things today, you can hug opposite elbows. Do whatever works for you. So if you're a Christian, I want you to now think about the God who we serve and call our Creator and Father, and just think about all the amazing miracles He has done just in creation, in raising people from the dead. The Bible is just filled with the power and might of God. So I want you to first spend a few moments just in awe of that. And then start to think about how God promises that His Spirit is within us now, and that we can have His strength in our veins. So whatever you're going through, if you're facing a lot of trials or temptations, or if you're just stuck, know that if you focus on Him and not your circumstances, you can be victorious. Send breath into your left side body for one more time. And then release. Slowly, gently work your way back. Roll out through the shoulders and neck. And then let's find our way into a half hero pose. So what we're going to do is bring our left leg behind us and sit our hips. Just scrunch them in there. This is a lot for you, stay here, or sit a bolster underneath your hips. That's a really nice option. Now if you're able, you can lay down onto your elbows. And I want us to bring our knee up for this one. So we're kind of in this flexed posture. And then if you're able, you can lay all the way down onto your back. Hands on your belly. Feel that warmth. You can even feel your heart beating through your stomach. This is your gut. This is where you make decisions from. This is where you gain strength from. You can trust it. Slowly roll onto your right hip, untuck your left foot, send your leg out long. We're going to come into a hollow body hold. So, utilizing some of that strength we talked about. Stretch your legs out long, point through your toes, and reach your arms overhead. Move any handles that you need to. And then out here, really flatten your low back into the mat. And draw navel to spine, draw rib points to hip points. So we're creating a posterior pelvic tilt here. And then arms overhead, lift your legs, lift your shoulders, and we'll hold. I'm shaking because I worked out, I'm sorry. And because it's hard, okay? A few more breaths. Flatten your lower back to the mat. Stretch long. Good. Release. Push through your elbows, sit back up. We'll move into half hero on the other side. So swing your right leg behind you. Wiggle your hips to a place that feels comfortable. And then bend your left knee. Sole of your left foot plants down into the mat. Again, use a bolster under your hips if needed and stay up high. If you can, go ahead and lower down to elbows and then to back. Hands on your belly. Last breath. Slide your right foot underneath you, stretch it long, and we'll move into just one more round of our hollow body holds. So stretch arms and legs long, flatten low back to the mat, pull belly into spine, lift heels and lift shoulders. You can interlace your fingers if that feels good for you. Engage your glutes, but don't clench them obnoxiously. You can do this. Stick with it. Flatten low back. 3 more breaths. Release down. Take your time rolling onto your belly. So we're going to move into bow pose, Dhanurasana. So usually we think of bow pose as more of like a heart opener, but let's try to do it in a way that stretches out those muscles we just worked. So lay onto your belly. Bend your knees so your heels come into your glutes. And then reach back for inner ankles with both hands. Now you're going to lift your thighs and lift your forehead and chest off the mat so that your abdomen, your solar plexus area is what remains there. On your next inhale. So really kick your ankles into your hands. Try to stretch through the front of your body. I'm going to switch grips here. There we go. A few more breaths. Good. Release. And then just windshield wiper your legs from side to side. We'll move into one more repetition of that. So some people like to flex through their ankles and grab from the outside. Some people like to point, grab from the insides. So whatever works for you. I encourage you to experiment and try one of each. And if you can flip your grip, that's incredible, and you can do that. So on your next breath, inhale, lift everything up again. Stretch through the front of your body. Again, more about that than about getting the exact technical form of this pose. Let's stay for 3 more breaths. And lower down. Stretch your arms in front of you. And we'll come into a seal pose. Again, more of an abdomen stretcher. That's perfect. As opposed to a heart opener. So roll your inner thighs upwards and drop your shoulders down your back. And then slowly lower back down. And roll your way back onto your backs. And go ahead and grab your bolster. So moving into our final pose here, one on each side. We're gonna do a bolster supported reclined twist. So bring, or you can roll up a blanket or have a pillow, whatever. You're gonna bring it into the small of your waist. You're laying on your left side. Your legs are stacked on top of each other. Then you can find another blanket or block to rest your head on. So instead of just laying on our side, even though it feels really good too, let's go ahead and twist open. So your legs stay where they are. Your right shoulder, your right arm, your right gaze goes over. Twist through your core here. This is our last pose. So savor it. If you don't like the bolster here, go ahead and take it out. If you have any low back issues, consider placing your other block between your knees just to keep your pelvis a little more aligned. But this should be fine for most of us. Should feel really good. So I'm going to repeat our scripture reading one more time. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Start to bring attention back to your body. Close your right shoulder. Press through your left elbow. And we'll switch sides. So you can roll to the other side. I'm going to switch where I'm facing for y'all's sake. Place the bolster in the small of your waist on the right side. Find a pillow or a block for your head if you want. And then legs are stacked on top of each other, knees bent. And then open your left shoulder and your chest and your gaze out to the left. Again, it's a really good option. Place a block between your knees. I'm going to repeat our affirmation one more time. I have the ability to follow through with my intentions. So rid yourself of any past thoughts about your lack of ability or lack of strength or lack of dedication or weakness, and instead cultivate feelings of empowerment and confidence and strength. Stay as long as you need. Whenever you're ready, go back to your right side. Push through your left hands and rise up to a seated posture. Let's come into a cross-legged position, hands on knees. One more big inhale, stick that belly button out. One more big exhale, round it in. Hands at heart center, namaste. So guys, thank you for joining for this solar plexus class. Hopefully you felt some activation through your core through our breath work and the little drill we did, plus just felt some nice twists and opening through that area as well. Remember that you can do it. You have the strength, you have the power, you have the greatest power behind you. So go out there and get it, and subscribe to my channel if you like it, and go ahead and share it. So I'll see you next time, and thanks for joining.